Welcome back into Cleveland Browns Daily here on 850 ESPN Cleveland. A great pleasure to be joined now by one of our stars, Kareem Hunt. The local boy made good and entering his second year here in Cleveland. And Kareem, let's just start, man, with what has been a wild 3 months of where we've been in the quarantine life. And I know you've spent it here in Cleveland. What has this time been like for you? How have you adjusted? How are you working out? How are you going about your daily life?
Honestly, yeah, it's a crazy time right now. And I never would expect something like this ever, when getting ready for the season and all the, sports are shut down. Would never expect anything like that. So pretty much everybody just got to stay active. I've been staying active, doing workouts in my basement on my Peloton bike and, just trying to, stay active, keeping up on the playbook and stuff like that. So it's definitely a change. It's definitely a big change. And, we got to, work virtually now, through Zoom meetings and stuff like that and all be on the same page.
You mentioned the Peloton. I love my Peloton. Who are some of your go-to instructors? What do you like to do on the Peloton?
I usually just get on and take a cruise.
Okay.
A long ride. I really don't get into the instructors and stuff. They might make me work too hard. No.
They certainly will make you work hard. There's no doubt about that. It's not a joyride, I can tell you.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I enjoy it. I ride it a lot. It's a fun time for real. And I like to see the different backgrounds and stuff that pop up. Pretty cool.
So take us through like a day in the life of Kareem Hunt right now in this offseason. What's kind of an average day for you?
Right now I'm waking up, eating, then I go do some running at this park. You got to make do what you have and running hills and stuff like that. Take a break, eat some lunch and stuff like that, and then have my meetings. And then after that, after my meetings are over with, I'll go to the gym and hit a workout. And I got a garage I go to, and I work with my track coach. And he gets me right, man. He got everything in this garage that you can, bench, weights, everything.
It's really on you guys to be pros. I mean, that you've never had this, you got to make sure that, it's looking more and more like the first time we see you guys will be at camp. And that'll be the first time you guys see coaches and those type of things. Mm-hmm. It's really going to be, I think you're going to find out in late July, really August, who the real pros are who come in shape and ready to roll.
Right. And I'm glad I had, this time in 4 years, to really learn how to treat my body in the off season. And it's definitely going to be huge. You're going to be able to tell. So, you're going to be able to tell who's been working and who hasn't really been working.
But, that will
be able to tell.
It's going to reveal itself, and part of the work is not only physical on your body, a lot of the work mental, getting into this playbook for you, third different playbook in 3 years. How are you assimilating into this offense and learning it?
Coach Stefanski is doing a great job, with communicating with us and detailing everything. And I'm actually doing a good job of learning some similarities between, where the wording, where I came from. And honestly, it's just like how I came in last year. I got to learn the playbook just like everybody else now. So we all learning a new style, new offense. And honestly, I'm, happy with it.
I would imagine that you've, knowing the history of this offense and this wide zone scheme and the type of success that tailbacks have in it, I imagine that your eyes light up with some of the stuff you're seeing. Have you gone back and looked at some of the stuff that they ran in Minnesota, and how do you envision yourself kind of fitting into this offense?
They run a lot of two backs. I've seen a lot of different guys running the ball there, with Dalvin Cook. So, I see myself just coming in and, being a 1-2. Nick and I just coming in, taking over the game every week. That's what I kind of see, and that's what I envision. And he's a, running the ball first type of guy out here. And you can tell by Dalvin's stats. He's a great tailback too, and he really, fed off the Coach Stefanski.
Kareem, we were talking about when we talk about this offense and all of the weapons and how exciting this can be, it's almost like we think people outside of Cleveland, we certainly haven't forgotten one of the NFL's leading rusher from a couple of years ago is on this team, and that's you, of course. do you have kind of a little bit of a chip on your shoulder ready to show everybody? I mean, you're part of what yesterday we went through the top 5 offenses in NFL history. We had the 2018 Chiefs, both of us in our top 5. You were a huge part of one of the best offenses ever. Is that something, do you have like a little bit of a chip on your shoulder to kind of prove to everybody once again, look, don't be overlooking Kareem Hunt. I'm as good as it gets in this league.
I was born with a chip on my shoulder, and you know, it's definitely still here more than ever. And you know, I definitely can't wait to go out there and shine. You know, my name really don't get brought up much at all, and you know, it's fine because you know I'm gonna come out there and you know get mine, and that's all I can do is take it play by play and make the most of my opportunities. So you know, people you know I play against, they'll realize again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Kareem, I think historically, what you have to think, I was trying to think historically, trying to put it into perspective in terms of 2 backs who've accomplished what you and Nick have in the same backfield, and this is way before your time, but I thought of like the Raiders when they had both Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen in the same backfield. That jumped out to me. There was a time in the 80s when Tony Dorsett and Herschel Walker were both with the Cowboys at the same time. But to have a guy who led the league in rushing and a guy who probably should have led the league in rushing a year ago in the same backfield in your prime. I mean, you guys are both of those instances where guys were towards the end of their career. You guys are still in your primes. I don't know that we've seen this type of talent in the same backfield when you put it into that perspective.
I mean, I definitely like Chubb and I. You know, both of us have a unique running style, tough runners, you know, and I both think we're workhorses. So, you know, I've never seen anything like this either. So I'm kind of excited to see how this season goes. And, you know, I feel like we can go far.
Have you noticed in the playbook anything where they've talked about you guys being on the field together and taking advantage of that?
I mean, there's, of course, you know, I'm not going to really go into the playbook, but hey, it'll be out there.
Good.
So I'm just excited. I'm willing to get out there and block too. You know, it's just that chip. Anytime I can get on that field and, you know, make something happen between running the football, blocking, and I'm going to give it 110 every time.
Well, I thought that was what was really cool last year, Kareem, when you did come back and you got in, was both you and Nick are very willing blockers. And Nick is as big a team first guy as anybody. You're the same way.
Right.
Despite growing up in very different parts of the country, it seems like you guys are kind of cut from the same cloth.
Honestly, I like it. You know, you got that old school to him, and I'm the same way. You know, it's a tough football game. I mean, hey, you win some battles, lose some.
They talk a lot about in the modern NFL as things have evolved, running backs who are able to not only run it and be those tough old school runners, but also cash in. This is an offense that's going to utilize the running backs a lot in the pass game, especially in the screen game, something you do very well, something you did very well in Kansas City, and when given the opportunity last year here in Cleveland. Is that something that excites you? Because last year you did catch the ball a lot, but it wasn't really, you wouldn't call the running backs in the passing game a central focus of that offense, whereas in this offense, it is a base part of this offense, especially in the screen game.
Yeah, and I like that a lot because I pride myself on beating my man. And that's every play, and that's how, you know, everybody should look at it. Offensive line, receivers, everybody just beat your man and we'll be fine. So if we beat our man, we shouldn't lose. And I mean, okay, so that's how I kind of look at it. And I'm a guy who's going to try to make a play even when the play break down. It doesn't matter. Baker scrambling. And I just try to pride myself on, you know, getting open all the time, making an opportunity. And if I beat my man, I got an opportunity to make a play. So that's what I'm going to do.
Kareem, let's go back to last year. And what was that like for you coming, you know, kind of paratrooping into the middle of that season, trying to, you know, fit in? And I mean, you'd been here, obviously, and we'd seen you around a lot, and we saw you putting in the work, but what was last year like jumping in the middle of a season and trying to have an impact in a tough spot, obviously?
I mean, yeah, in a tough spot, it was tough. You know, you just I had to come back, and I'm the type of guy, no matter what our record is, who's the next, I want to win. I'm a competitor. So, you know, just trying to come back in and make sure everybody's still giving it they all in 110%. And it was kind of tough, but I came back in because I was able to practice a little bit early and catch up with the playbook and stuff like that. So that helped. And get my win back and, you know, work on my position drills and stuff like that. So it's real. It was tough, but honestly, when you love the game of football, man, you up for any challenge.
Kareem, on the offensive side of the ball, we have a new scheme. We have a new head coach who might be the play caller. We have a new offensive coordinator, new quarterback coach, basically. We have new receivers, new tight end, new offensive. The one piece of continuity on that side of the ball, though, Stump Mitchell with you guys in that running back room. How important was that, and how nice and comforting was that to have that continuity? You know it's Stump, you know it's you, you know it's Nick.
Yeah, obviously Stump did a great job, last year with Nick and I. And we believe in him as a leader, as a coach. Man, he's a great coach and a person. He's always keeping it real with you no matter what. And, he don't beat around the bush ever. He going to tell you what he think about how you did at practice, how you practice, how hard, everything. Stump is just a great man and coach. And he's been around for a long time. He know the game. He's played.
How's his quarantine beard? Does he have a pretty strong quarantine beard right now?
He always quarantined if that's his quarantine beard, man. He keep that thing. He never shaved that thing. He just keep it trimmed up real nice. Man, he got the best beard all time.
Oh, epic.
There's no question.
Epic.
Yeah, all the time.
There's no question.
And to be that old and keep it real sharp, man, good dude. I love it.
Yeah, we do. It's always great to see Stump around. The one of the things that we've noticed when we've talked to you guys, and we've heard Bake say this directly, but we're not going to talk much. You're not going to see us on the cover of magazines, and a lot of that stuff happened last year in the offseason. We're going to talk much. We're going to let the play, and we can. Nathan and I talk about this all the time on the show. We talk about the amount of talent that's on this team, and that maybe this team is being slept on a little bit based on the amount of talent that we've almost become forgotten a little bit, which is fine. It's actually perfect. Just keep not talking about it. But that seems to be the attitude of the team as well.
Definitely. I enjoy that. I'd rather, not be talked about and, just come in each and every week. Wow, the Browns won again. The Browns won again. Then when they see we winning, then they'll start, talking about it. And honestly, I definitely feel like, with people sleeping on our team. And I would too. We haven't really done much lately. So we let them think that. And I promise you, and we come in and do our job, everybody, I promise we'll be fine.
How excited are you to actually
I'm excited
to actually get here and get with these guys and get this going and start to build what's going to happen on Sundays?
I'm ready to see, somebody lined up across from me. That's what I'm really looking forward to. And, getting back on the field, putting the helmet on. And, man, I can't wait to be back seeing my brothers every day.
Yeah, that's probably been one of the harder parts, I would bet, because, when I talk, Kareem, when we talk to guys who don't play anymore and you ask them what they miss, what they undoubtedly say is, I miss the locker room. I miss my guys.
My guys, man. Those are my brothers right there.
Has that been hard?
I mean, we still catch it. I talk to a lot of those guys still, the running backs stick together and stuff like that. And I talk to Jarvis and Baker and all those guys all the time. And through the meetings, but for the most part, I mean, we ain't seeing each other, getting those reps in together. So,
yeah.
Or messing around in the locker room together. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
The fun, the frivolity, as they like to say.
Yeah.
Have you gotten a chance to talk one-on-one with Kevin Stefanski or even Andrew Berry just about, their expectations for you, how they see you fitting in and what this year can be? Because I think it can be a big one for not only for you, but for the Browns.
Yeah, I mean, they see me as, a running back, not like a gadget type guy. They see me as a running back and a 1-2. So I respect that. And, I'm ready to get out there and do whatever they ask. So I'll be ready.
Well, we can't wait for that day, buddy. We appreciate you taking some time with us today here on Browns Daily. Can't wait to see you again in person back at the facility, and can't wait to lace them up and play this season. Thank you so much for your time, bud.
Yeah, thank you too.